Hello everybody, my name is Dratnos, and welcome to my weekly vault series. I've filled up a lot of vaults on a lot of characters last week, but we're going to start off with my Druid, which actually didn't get much of a vault. I didn't do raid on this character last week due to our Demon Hunter being out, being deathly ill, so I had to play my Demon Hunter in main raid. So my Druid did one key, and then did like theater troupe and stuff, so I can take a socket if I want to. I'd rather not, though. I'd rather get something really good out of the dungeon slot. I think I'm loot spec balanced currently. So there's the High Speaker's Accretion, which I don't know if this thing is good for that spec. So it looks like the answer is no. This is not a particularly good trinket for kind of anybody. So I can take my socket here, or I can take this trinket because it is a myth track trinket, of which I currently only have one. I have this Foul Behemoth's Chelicera. Now, there aren't that many good tank trinkets from Raid that I will get first dibs at. I guess there's a Swarmlord's Authority that I could probably take if one drops. So there's that from the second to last boss. But otherwise, almost all the trinkets that drop from Raid... Actually, wait, I think I have... Yeah, okay, this is a myth track trinket, this Creeping Coagulum. I got given this during one of our later weeks so that I could upgrade my hero track trinkets to 623. So that argument goes away. There was an argument for just taking this so that I'd have a second myth track trinket, because what I'm trying to do on this character is get myth track in every slot so that I can then eventually upgrade every slot to 639 and unlock the Gilded Crest discount on my alts. But since I already have a myth track trinket, that is a moot point. So we're not going to take this trinket, it's bad. We're not going to take these 584s, they're 584. We are going to take the socket, which I am currently fully socketed, but I need to get myth track bracers and throw a socket into them. Once I have that, I'll be pretty much fully socketed and fully socketed into good things as well, so I won't need any past that, but I still do need to find some myth track bracers at some point to imbue with that socket. So okay, my Druid is now basically done with vaults being useful, unless I get really lucky now. That's to be expected, though, right? That's how this game works. Is as your character's gear gets better, the vaults, on average, become worse and less exciting, which it's sort of counterbalanced normally by the fact that as you start doing better and better in terms of gear, you start doing higher level content that gets you better gear. But for players like me, we're obviously doing like the high-end content in the bad gear at the start, and then we're getting a lot of really exciting upgrades, and then we're already hitting like max vaults early on in the season, and then it starts tapering off as we start getting better and better, which is why we create an army of alts to satisfy that dopamine that is missing now. So okay, loot spec Unholy. I actually did an Unholy key on this character. It was quite a bit of fun. And we're gonna see a nice big cool Arkar Sack Brood, exactly. As I was trying to think of what the best thing to see here is, but decent chances this is a really, really good trinket. So that'll work for a lot of specs, I think, and that's probably better than the Spelunker's Waning Candle, which I didn't put any upgrades into. Bang! Just throw that there. I do have two good tank trinkets on this character, but they're both champion track, the Chelicera and the Swarmlord's Authority. But this character basically existed to kill Mythic Brood Twister Ovanax. That's why it has so many 626s, is because I sent all my crests to push this character so that I could kill Brood Twister Ovanax during progression. And I took these kind of short-term upgrades of sending Hero Track to 626. And now it's kind of like I no longer want to just dump resources into this character. I want to start saving up on it so that I can eventually push it up to 639 later, but it's going to be a little delayed because it's not actually the 623 to 626 step that's the most painful. It's sending stuff using crests from 619 to 623. That's the step where that step will be made irrelevant whenever you get any myth track piece, even if it's just 623 from the vault, right? So if you use your crest to do that, you're kind of sad long term when you eventually get a myth track piece in that slot, which that character is very, very slowly going to acquire those, though, because it is... Actually, it might kill more mythic bosses. We're starting an alt run. Speaking of which, this character did our alt run last week. So it's got 4 mythic bosses killed, including Cloak, Necklace, or Weapon bosses. Any of those could be in here. All of those would be really big from those 2 slots at the top. I'm hoping to see the cloak. Okay, we're not going to see... Oh, look at that, the Sureki Zealot's insignia, but it's on the hero track. That's tragic. That's, I actually think this is probably not even that good of a Brewmaster item, though, because it's so haste heavy. But it's probably very, very, very good for Windwalker. We do have a haste mastery ring, the key to the unseeming. Also not particularly good for Brewmaster. And a haste crit belt. Also not especially exciting for Brewmaster, although maybe it catalyzes into something good. And then there's Empowering Crystal here of Anub Ikaj, which is a decent trinket. So I need to look up a few things here. First of all, I just need to kind of check to see if anybody's using this Empowering Crystal on Windwalker or Brewmaster. All right, so I used to do that looking stuff up on camera, but realized it was kind of a boring segment. The TLDR of what I've discovered is that this trinket is fine, but not great for both Brewmaster and Windwalker. So definitely an option there. The belt stats are good for Windwalker, not especially good for Brewmaster, and it catalyzes into something that's kind of mid as well. It catalyzes into Verse Mastery, which is probably fine for Brewmaster keys, but eventually for Brewmaster, I think I'm going to want an Adrenal Surge clasp crafted anyways, which is in the belt slot. Like right now I have 610 socketed PvP crafted belt and bracers, but there's actually a decent chance that I'm going to use my guildies on this character, my gilded crests, to send belt and bracers. I was just kind of waiting because I was thinking like, maybe I should make a weapon, but realistically I will eventually get the Sikron weapon because not a lot of people need a 2-handed agi weapon from a third boss that this character can pretty easily kill pretty reliably. So, yeah, that's an argument against taking this. I don't want to take this ring because it's really not good for Brewmaster. I don't want to take this necklace because it's hero track, even though it's good and cool. So I think I'm just going to take this trinket. I don't know. It's not the most exciting trinket in the world, but at least it does something, and it does something for both Brew and Windwalker, and it's a nice kind of mid-ground offensive, defensive trinket that I can throw on and not be embarrassed by, and I can dump some Gilded Crest into eventually, although, as you can see, I am saving a bunch of Gilded Crests on this character. I will probably actually send those on my 639 or 636 crafted pieces soon, because those don't get cheaper once you get the Gilded Crest discount, whereas everything else does. I guess there was an argument for taking a socket, because I am going to probably craft into slots that will need a socket, but I think this character already has a socket in its bag, so really not going to need an awful lot of those. All right, here we go. It is Warrior time. Now, Warrior is getting buffed this week, although there's actually a Wowhead post that has just come out that says they're not getting buffed by as much as they lowered the value of the execute buff to a 7% increase from a 10% increase. But nonetheless, Dratnos XD is going to be a terror of all 3 specs with this. I have some pretty good Fury gear, actually. At least decent, trinket and weapon stuff. I've got a Myth track weapon and a Hero track weapon. So we're going to go loot spec Prot, because there are some tank trinkets that would be kind of interesting to me. I did a heroic clear on this character, and I could use like a Chelicera or a Swarmlord's Authority. But hopefully we're going to get something good in the Myth track slot. And we are going to get the Tier Gloves. So, okay. I'm going to take those. I don't want Hero track, even though there's a pretty good ring here, but I don't want Hero track. I'm going to take the Tier Gloves and be reasonably happy about that. That's a pretty good item level slot, even if Verse Crit is not the... I mean, Verse is good as well. Crit's good for damage as well. It's all good for Prot. And then for Fury, I think it's fine too, so... Alright, cool. Little marginal upgrade there, but, I'm starting to save my Gilded Crests on a lot of characters, so upgrades will be marginal until I can eventually unlock that discount on my main, and then bang, we're gonna see some huge item level spikes that week. Maybe I'll do it all on the weekly vault video that week, although I'll probably have to collect a bunch of Gilded Crests first that week. Although, maybe I won't if I have saved all my Runed Crests on that character as well, so I can up-convert them into Gildeds that day and hit my cap that way, so yeah, we'll see. It's still a couple weeks out from being able to do that, depending on how much gear I get assigned from Raid. All right, here's my Demon Hunter. My Demon Hunter had to come to main Raid because our Havoc Demon Hunter was perishing. He's better now, though, so that's good. So I actually have a full vault of 6 Mythic bosses. So the question here is loot spec Havoc or Vengeance. I'm going to go loot spec... gonna go loot spec Vengeance. I would like a Chelicera now that I think about it. That's a cool item. I hope I'm not taking anything. I guess the Void Reaver's Warp Contract would be a cool Havoc trinket, but okay, we were really hoping to see the weapon. But we're not going to see the weapon up there. But we are going to see Mythtrack Leech chest piece. It is a mastery piece, which is not great, but it does have Leech, which is good. Mythtrack gloves, good stats as well. And Mythtrack helmet, which is also a mastery heavy slot. So one that I guess I'd rather have my helmet be my off piece for Vengeance probably. Although honestly, I've seen some Vengeance Demon Hunters that actually just have mastery like as a reasonably high stat actually for them. So maybe that's fine. It's probably not good at all for raid. So I already have a Mythtrack chest piece. I'm not going to take the Mythtrack tier, even though it is a cool leech piece, because that just seems too sketchy, especially when these are both champion track to Mythtrack. I'd save more item levels by taking the helmet, but I would be removing my socket from my helmet. But sockets kind of suck this season. Yeah, it's tempting. It's all tempting. I could also take these boots, or I could take these hero track pieces, which I'm not gonna, but I could if I wanted to. I'm gonna take the helmet. I mean, it is mastery heavy, but if I'm going to keep the chest as my off piece, but I could catalyze the chest and then find an off helmet. What is the helmet situation from the raid is my question. Let's see. Bloodbound Horror drops a verse crit one. I mean, that is good stats. We don't have a lot of leather wearers in main raid, but I probably can't bring this character to main raid this week because our Demon Hunter is alive again. So... But I could try and get this thing eventually, in which case I wouldn't want this helmet. Although, even if I eventually get that, this still saves me so many crests, because it's the highest item level piece here. So, I'm going to take this. It's the biggest short-term upgrade, right? Like, this is plus 406 agility, even though we're losing that socket. That's probably fine. This can't be that bad. And it's got so many item levels on it, it's the biggest crest save as well. So... even if I eventually turn my helmet into an off-piece slot and catalyze my chest piece, it's still not going to be that bad to have taken this. It's -1 like Mythtrack piece on my character, but it's plus 45 or 30 after I get the discount Gilded Crests, sort of. I guess depending on what item level Mythtrack piece I get, but that off piece is from Bloodbound Horror, so it's the lowest eye level one from the raid. I don't know, it doesn't matter. None of this matters. All of this is for fun, pretend stuff, because none of these characters are gonna... well, I guess one of these characters is potentially gonna do some alt-raid progression at some point. It's kind of unclear which. It's probably not gonna be the Paladin, but the Paladin's been a lot of fun. Loot spec is Prot currently. Do I have... yeah, I could use a nice big shield, so loot spec Prot sounds right. I've also played some Ret on this character, and it has been fun. We did... oh, there's another Shireki Zealot's Insignia from a heroic clear. But there is a Earthen Nullification Aegis, which is... it's actually weird. We're getting Mythtrack in our vault that's lower base item level than the hero track that's being offered up here. That is funny. I'm going to take the shield. I need a good shield on this character more than anything, even though Mastery Haste Ring is poggers for Prot Pally. You know, Shireki Zealot's Insignia... also poggers, but these are all hero track, and I want a Mythtrack shield. I don't want to craft into shield if I can avoid it. It's not bad, but like this will go up to higher eye level. Yeah, I'm gonna take it, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw an enchanted Gilded Crest into this charged claymore for Ret anyways, and then that's gonna let me upgrade my Mythtrack one-hander and shield up to 636 for free. And then I do need to figure out what my embellishments are for Prot, because right now I have the Nerubian doubling one, and I won't have a Nerubian one in for Prot, so I may have to figure that out. I may have to do some embellishment nonsense. The embellishments all suck this season, though, so it doesn't matter. It's fine. You're allowed to do that. Okay. Up next is my Mage. My Mage actually also did a full heroic clear. We did a couple extra heroics last week. We did kind of a passion heroic for fun on Friday. Not a lot of people from the... like, that was mostly a pug. And then we did another heroic yesterday because we have one of our warlocks from previous tiers has returned to the game. So we had to... his character did not exist this time last week, but we ran a heroic for it. and the first 2 bosses of Heroic BRD as well, but then Heroic BRD was too hard. So yeah, I've got 2 M+ slots, because I did a bunch of keys on this character as well, and a full Heroic raid slot. You can see I'm already up to 621 on this guy. I've got my Harbinger of the Ruined. I got that last night after the Heroic clear, because I got the AOTC token, so I was able to buy chest piece. And yeah, now we're kind of just looking for really good items, mostly from the M+ rows, because those are myth track pieces, so decent chance we could actually end up taking a socket here if things are bad. Okay, there's a Mad Queen's Mandate, which is a cool trinket, but it's hero track, and yeah, whatever. There's Hadal's Nautilus, which is not an especially cool trinket, so I don't think we're in too much danger of taking this item. And then there's Dorlita's Safety Belt, which is Verse Mastery, not the world's most exciting statistics for Mage. My understanding is you're looking for Haste Mastery for Fire, Crit Haste for Frost. That being said, I'm still going to take this. This is a myth track piece. I don't want any of this other garbage. Yeah, I'm going to take this, and then it might catalyze into something good. We can do the quick check. But even if it doesn't, I'm taking this. But the way you check this is you go to your appearances. I have a mod that kind of changes this, but even if you don't, you can do this. And then you just you go here, and wait, why is this? Okay, unfortunately, this doesn't let me see the other piece of this. You want to find the one that's actually the Violet Rebirth one, but I think my mod is making it so that I can't actually show both of them. Oh, wait, okay, I pressed tab. No, pressing tab on it doesn't even work either, because I've already collected that belt appearance. Okay, well, either way, we're gonna toss the belt in the catalyzer and see what it would give. I don't actually own a charge yet. Okay, so we turned from Verse Mastery to Crit Verse. So that's probably even a little bit worse for Fire, but that would be better for Frost. I have to decide if I want to try any Frost on this character. But either way, this is item levels. I guess I'm going to throw this on right now as well, because I think Mastery is better than Crit as the second stat on this thing for Fire. So it's a small marginal upgrade for now, and then, I don't know, we'll figure it out later. Either way, plus item level, plus intellect. Can't be that bad. You want some Verse as well anyways, I'm sure. But I do think you want more haste than I have. I only have 24%, so could still use some more on this guy, but we'll find it in other slots for sure. All right, last character here, Dratno Shaman. Dratno Shaman was leveled about 10 days ago in the exciting times where Shaman was about to be OP in all 3 specs. Now, since then, they have nerfed Ellie, reverted some of those nerfs, or re-erded some of those nerfs if you see the typo I put in my thumbnail for that video, which I'm keeping, by the way. I'm too lazy to fix that. They've nerfed Enhancement a tiny bit, and they buffed Resto's damage, inexplicably. So I still haven't decided what spec this character is going to be. One thing that makes me think I should play it as Resto is that I got this cool Critverse necklace, but I think I'm actually going to stay loot spec Enhance, because I'd like to try Enhance. I haven't played Enhance on live in a really long time. So if I get a cool Enhance weapon out of my 1 key slot, I would be pretty happy with that. Turns out we're not going to have to deal with that decision anyways. I could take this hero track helmet. That would actually probably be a bigger short-term upgrade, but I'm going to take this myth track belt. It is it's Haste Mastery, which is good for Ellie and Enhance. But I do have this annoying Verse Crit necklace that does kind of make me want to play Resto on this character. I don't know. I'm just going to keep it ungeared, unenchanted, unsent sparks until I decide what to do with it, which may take a little while. I think I want to play Resto on this thing. Resto seems kind of fun, but Enhance also seems kind of fun. Enhance and Ellie can use sort of similar stats as well. I don't know. I gotta math out. I've got 5 sparks now, so I gotta math out what I can do with that to kind of make all 3 specs have good options. That would be cool. Anyways, that's it for this week. Hope you've enjoyed the weekly vault video. Let's see what the bonus event is this week. It is skirmishes. Okay, cool. Can kind of ignore that. And what are our questies over here? The arena calls. Oh, that's the weekend arena event. Okay. Or the call of the world soul. Ooh, cool. We can pick. Okay, yeah. What I've learned here is the world boss one is bait. It makes you kill 5 rares as well. That's bait. We don't do that because I actually like killing rares, but they're all dead for the first couple of days because people are clicking this. So I think it's probably... What's the snuffling? Seek out snuffling objectives and skywriting treasures? What's this one? You have to fly through 45 world soul motes? Okay, that's really easy. There's a bugged one that you can abuse whenever Dornagal is active. So I don't know. I'll let you guys in on a little secret. If you switch to like steady flying mode, and you kind of AFK glide right here, right where I was when I said that, you get a bunch of world soul motes pretty quick. But I would have to dig dirt. I don't really like digging dirt. I could just do the heroic Cydia threads and then just do, Cydia threads key. But I think for now I'm just going to take the... What's the world quest one do? Okay, world quest one. What does that one do? Complete world quests in Khazalgar. Complete 6 world quests in Khazalgar. I think I'm just going to stick with that because the world boss counts as 1. The spreading the light counts as 1. So I would only have to do 4. And I could just do some dragon races or stuff. Yeah, or some of the photography ones. That's probably the Light's Gambit. Yeah, that's probably the least painful of these. I guess I could see which of my characters have a City of Threads key. This is Alter Ego. It's sort of like saved instances. They both have some pretty overlapping functionality, and I have both installed. None of my characters have a City of Threads. I do have 2 Dawnbreakers, a Mists, an Arakara. I have some pretty good keys on these characters. Yeah, you can see my item level situation as well. All my characters getting decently geared here. These two pretty much at Harbinger of the Ruined as well. Just need a couple more upgrades on them. And then this character obviously is a decent ways away, but it's actually not as far as you think because I can send 4 sparks, each with an enchanted Ruined crest because I have all the ones from Reputation. So this character actually has 4 bonus 619s that are waiting to be applied to it. And once we do that, it's, a lot of these slots become good all of a sudden. I only need to get like half of the upgrades that you think I do before I can get 620 on this thing. So I do need Rune Crests on it. This character really should try and sneak into a heroic, but I didn't do that last week on this thing because it was a bit too much of a rat, and we already were carrying some rats in those heroics and stuff, which were actually important rats. So yeah, maybe this week I'll see if I can sneak my way into some heroic or other. Anyways, hope you've enjoyed this video. Next week, there may be a exciting, fresh-faced new alt, new rodent alt of some kind. Maybe a cool new warlock or hunter or evoker or priest or rogue. Probably not Mop Time Woo. That was my Mop Remix character. That thing is probably staying at level 70. In fact, I think I can take it out of this. Yeah, my Druid also has a bonus entry in this add-on because I faction changed it the week we killed Queen Ansarek, bricked my Vantis Rune, but I turned into a Cultiran, which was better than a Vantis Rune, as long as you have an incorrect definition of better. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching. Hope your vaults are good. See you in the next one. Bye.